Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Life, Love, and You podcast. Today, we're stepping away from our usual format and diving into the heart of real-life communication in relationships. What you're about to hear is a candid conversation between couples who are navigating the tough terrains of trust, boundaries, and the influence of external pressures like social media. They share their struggles, whether it's dealing with lingering insecurities, negotiating expectations in public settings, or simply trying to find that mutual understanding in a world full of distractions. This isn't polished advice. It's raw, honest, and filled with the imperfections of real life. As you listen, remember that every conflict is an opportunity, and every disagreement is a chance to learn about each other. So, settle in and get ready for an unfiltered look at what it really takes to build and maintain true connection. Let's jump in.
So Whitley, it's good that you're back again.
Yes, ma'am.
So bring me up to speed with where we are. So when you came to me, we were working on your relationship with Martin.
Correct.
And you came to me because?
I came to you because we just trying to work through some issues with Martin and with our relationship as a whole. So a few of those issues were just him being selfish in our relationship. So he has a lot of selfish ways. He grew up as an only child, and then just him, with this, I think his mannerism and, his body, he kind of tries to portray or be a certain way, like I'm the man type of thing. So him being selfish, of course, communication, we had to work through some things with that because he's very introvert as I am an extrovert. So working with communication.
Martin is an introvert?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a social introvert, but an introvert in terms of communication in a relationship, and just being consistent, really.
And then I know that there was a trust issue as well.
Correct.
So
Trust.
tell me, bring me up to speed. Where are we now, and how's the relationship since our last session?
Okay, so in terms of him being selfish, I know we came to you and you were able to pull things out of him in terms of his childhood, how he grew up, how he still, continues to hold those things and try to make that light in his life to try to make it all make sense, and just going off of things that he saw in his past. But in terms of him being selfish, like, he is more inclusive. So he does include me, if he goes somewhere, he tries to extend the invite. It was a thing that he was a loner, or, just felt that it's not that he's trying to be selfish, but in his mind, he just feels that going along because he grew up a certain type of way, like that's the way to go because he's always going to know somebody.
So we're talking about the separation of things that you guys did together.
Correct.
Versus things that he wanted to do by himself and you weren't included in those things.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yes, he's gotten a little bit better, so I'll give him.
Okay.
I'll give him a B minus. He's gotten a little bit better with that. Communication, for sure, that has heightened a little bit. He expresses himself better. I'm not really the initiator at all times. If we have an issue, he will try to open up and bridge the gap in form of communication with trying to speak and let the problems be addressed and well known. And trust, that's a day-by-day thing with social media and life and just, it's happenings of the way of the world. I think that's like a power struggle within our relationship.
So the trust thing hasn't really gotten that much better yet?
No, not for me. Not for me.
So what's your end goal? Where do you want to see yourself in the area of your trust in this relationship?
I want us to be all the way there. Like we started off in our relationship as friends. We were friends before we dated and, before we moved to the level of engagement and all that good stuff. So just definitely like being more connected intimately and not sexually, but, more of a mental state, like connecting with the mind, because that's important to me.
It is.
Just wanting to be on the same page at the same time, like a deeper connection, because I think that'll help with trust.
So when we talk about trust and this deeper connection that you're wanting, is the trust that you want to feel more connected so you feel safe, or is it that you want to feel that you can trust him when he's outside of your eyeshot?
Outside of my eyesight, for sure.
Okay.
And just like the sense of security, all women, we want to feel secure in a relationship and not based upon looks, just like secure knowing that, okay, this is what we have. And like you said, I trust you in front of me as well as behind my back as well.
So let's identify the things that he does when he's not in your eyesight that make you pause or feel insecure?
Sometimes he's a little bit too friendly.
Friendly.
Yeah, for better words. too friendly, too free, and I have a problem with that. And at times, I mean, because like I told you, he is an introvert, but mysteriously, he's a social extrovert. So he has developed these characteristics that fell out of the sky. I don't know where they came from.
Okay.
And like, we're out in a social setting, or even if he is, like, his interactions are a little bit bothering to me.
So we're really talking about boundaries.
Yes.
So you're wanting specific boundaries
Yes.
in these social settings.
Yes.
So is that where we're getting our panties in a bunch? It's in
Yes.
these specific settings.
Correct.
Okay. So what we want to do is we want to be as specific as possible,
Mm-hmm.
because then it gives us a target. Because this
Correct.
poor man is not going to know what he's trying to shoot at. So as specific as we can be, the better it is. It's going to be better for you and for him, because you're going to get what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
He's either going to hit the target or he's not.
Correct.
So let's define the target.
Okay.
So these social settings, what sort of things are permissible, and what sort of things do we not want to take place? What's not permissible in these settings?
Because I don't want to seem like I don't want to seem, selfish. I don't want to seem selfish, of course, if I don't want him to do it. But I just feel that he should know, there should be limitations. So within conversation, I feel that the present should be known that you have a fiance, a serious relationship, you're getting married, like that should be known. And I think once that's thrown out there, that can kind of nip everything else in the bud. I think so.
I have to disagree with you. I'm trying to figure out, we wouldn't have the song Me and Mrs. Jones if that was true. We
That's
really
a
wouldn't.
fact. You're right.
I mean, I haven't seen the notion of a ring stopping a lot of people for centuries, right? So
That's true.
I don't know how effective that's going to be to get you where you really want to be, right?
Okay.
We're really talking about the fact of particular behaviors or a sense of what you want to see him do in these social settings versus, I think, what you want him to say. Because is that going to stop a woman?
No.
Is it?
No.
Okay, so maybe we should scratch that one off, or you want to keep that one?
We can scratch it off.
Okay, so let's be more specific. What is it that you want him to stop doing in these social settings that makes you feel uncomfortable? It sounds like you're saying there's things that he does that gives women the sense that he might be available.
Correct.
Could that be what you're really thinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're calling me ma'am, so that means I must be doing my job right. So why don't you share that with me? What are those behaviors?
Interactions. So like if you're out, like continuously being in another female's face, like, if you're out with your guys, you're supposed to be with your guys, not on social media with other females on your social media. It's called Instagram stories. So, in videos, things like that. But, this is my homegirl and I've known her from, such and such time, but I've never met this homegirl or this friend or what have you. So things like that, I think that's a boundary. Like, and that should be a no-brainer. But in his mind, he's like, no, that's a friend, it's nothing. But in my mind, like the way it looks and how I'm perceiving it, if I've never met this friend, it's nothing else to talk about. So that, just a sense of being mature, like knowing when you need to cut things off and say, okay, well, I do need to get home. I have, to go home to my girl, XYZ, not I need to stay out and make sure I talk to this person, or, just being there, like just cutting all of that
So
off.
you want less contact with the opposite sex, particularly over social media. Is that what you're saying?
And in general,
Because
yes.
I'm having a hard time getting you to nail down what is it that you.
Yeah,
why are
no.
you not able to own your feelings? Is it that you're struggling with? Is this okay for me to feel this way? Are you doubting whether you're overly sensitive? Where's your confidence in your position?
I could be overly sensitive.
Okay.
But I'm a sensitive person, but I mean, I'm not naive either. I think I've been in certain spaces where I've been that way and I've grown from that, but just probably being overly sensitive just a little. But that comes into a state where you have to make your girl feel secure. That could be being a provider, that could be doing something nice. Like, it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be one specific thing.
Okay. So I'm going to call Martin in now, if
Okay.
that's okay. Martin, why don't you come and join us so we can talk about your behaviors? I think it's really important, though, to be very sure-footed about your position.
Correct.
And it just seems like you're just not. You're struggling. So
I'm
how can,
not.
if you're not sure, how can you make him feel positive about what he should be doing and shouldn't do? Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Well, I understand that you guys have been doing a lot better. You're being more giving and less selfish.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been more communicative, I understand. Talking and sharing. That's all good. I'm happy. So I understand you've been doing some of your homework too from the book that I signed. Happy to hear that. So we're making progress.
Yes.
But what do you think about what Whitley's been sharing about some of the boundaries that she'd like to see established in your relationship? I understand you're on Instagram with other women.
Yes. So what she has to understand is she from Tallahassee. I'm from Miami. So she's not gonna always know everybody I know.
Right.
I come from a football background, popular background. I know people.
I mean, he's really like a celeb, so.
Don't tell him that, please.
But I mean, but it's the truth, right? So if I'm saying something that's not factual, then correct me. So this is someone that's had a public career.
Yes.
He's well known. He's in his own neighborhood. So I think that what's important is to try to get both of you to have a meeting of the minds, right? So I think this is a fact. So if I'm born and raised in Miami, I'm going to be running into people all the time, even more so if I'm a public figure. Comes with the territory. But that doesn't mean that we can't establish boundaries on what's good for you, what's permissible for you to do, and then what's not.
That's true.
And what I hear is most important to her is she doesn't like those pictures on Instagram.
Okay.
So Marty Mar, we might need to cut the pictures.
Not even pictures, videos.
Oh, that's even worse.
I get it.
Yeah, you might have to leave that a little off.
I get it.
Listen, if there's no malice in your palace, you can have peace. I don't think you'll have peace when you go home once she's, gotten a little gander at one of those videos that you've been over there shooting with so-and-so that she doesn't know. So, I mean, that doesn't stop you from being friendly. You can still say hello and hang out with your friends. But I think the posting on Instagram is a little bit much. Did I hit that on the head?
Yes, ma'am.
I agree.
So I want us to negotiate what those boundaries are going to be. So that's our first one. You think you're okay with negotiating no Instagram posts with other women other than family? Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
What do you think about that?
I'm open.
You're open.
Yeah.
Is that a commitment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there other boundaries or activities that you feel that he needs to curtail?
Yes, his time out. I think he should try to make better sense of his time being out.
Okay, I'm losing Martin. What was that reaction?
Nothing.
Well, I remember from our first session.
It's mainly just like what she was saying earlier. Like I'm maybe a little selfish.
You like to hang out?
I like to do what I want to do at times. Hang out,
When he wants to do it, and that was one of the things that we talked about with you in one of our sessions, with him seeing his father do whatever he wanted to do, so that resonating with him in his mind, thinking that it's okay. And I mean, we got to be accountable. I do get that people have past and they have to work through things, but somebody has to be the change.
So I heard you saying earlier that you really want your relationship to evolve. So I think it was okay. You let Martin hang out. Now that you guys are engaged, it's not good for him to hang out that much anymore.
Correct.
So you're wanting him to begin to decrease his time away.
Yes, ma'am.
No, first her issue was me hanging out so late. But I changed that, so now it's we need more time together.
Yeah.
I understand it. I'm not saying I understand it.
Okay.
I want mine, putting a line between one and the other.
Okay. So what that's going to look like is that we're going to negotiate on how many outings does Martin get. Is it a week? Is it a month? What are we talking in terms of numbers?
But we did that before, Dr. Jacquie, and remember he said that the way his life is, he can't be defined to one number or, okay, I get this many. And remember, he wasn't getting that part when we talked about
but
that.
I hear Martin saying something completely different now. So not only have you moved the goal line, to me the activities, the gameplay is different. He has made some concessions. He's making concessions today. So what do you think about that, Martin? What are you willing to do?
See, with me, it's not. I'm going to change, meaning, you know, care about her feelings more, which is hanging out and spending more time together. But I just don't want to be confined. Like, don't put a number on me. Like, let me change in my head. Don't give me a number to change. And
Okay, so fair enough.
it's just a mind thing.
Okay,
Like,
so then all I need you to answer is this one question. So then how do we know whether you've improved in that area?
I guess actions speak louder than words.
Okay. But if you're expecting a change should be measurable.
True.
So I'm willing to go with what you're saying, but how do we measure that?
We usually do like date nights twice a week, and game nights. So I guess more of that would be, you know, what she wants, 'cause that's what she like. Right?
She's smiling, but I don't think you're winning her over. It sounds like to me she's saying she wants her time and she wants you to have less of that time out there unsupervised. That's what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, but I don't want it to be like he's in jail. You know, that's not. I guess what I'm looking for is him to just be more, I don't know, profound than wanting to be like, this is what I want to do because, you know, this is what I'm doing. This is what makes me happy. This is my relationship. So not so that it's like a job or a favor or, you know, something like that. It should be something that you want to do and, you know, be happy and excited about, okay, like this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to go out this night because I'm going to go with my girl or, you know, whatever the situation may be. And I think that goes back to the level or the space of being more intimate, connected intimately, of the minds, because I feel like some things should just be a no-brainer if you're really excited about it and you want to do it. And we all know that when you put the work into something, you're going to do it. That's with anything,
That's
you know?
true. But I hear you saying that you understand how he was born and raised, right? And then, so you understand that he's lived and this is what he knows. Not only is this what he's lived and what he knows, this is who he's been all throughout your courtship, now your engagement. But then on the other end, you say stuff like, well, it's a no-brainer. So that's kind of conflicting dialogue for me. Because you're saying that you have an expectation of something that you really don't expect because you understand that this is who he has been. I think that there's a problem for me with you owning your position and being very definite about what that looks like. Do you know what you want? And do you know what it looks like in your mind's eye?
Yes.
Okay. How different is it than what you already have?
It's not a lot different, but it is different. It's not a lot different, but it is different because I do know what I want, you know, and I hear you when you say that it's kind of conflicting because I say I know, and then it's like I'm looking for something else. But I feel that people are supposed to progress in life. Like, we're not supposed to be in one space. You're supposed to elevate and, you know, grow and move forward. So is it just supposed to be acceptable because this is what it was and this is what you saw? Or is it going to be like, when are you going to change? Like, you have to change to elevate and progress.
I get that. Now I really understand what you're saying. But Martin, do you know what she's really looking for? You have a clear picture?
Somewhat.
Describe it to me.
Security, trust, communication, and consistency.
But tell me what that looks like in your relationship. For example, does that look like a man that is more given to being home, thinking about the future, planning that future, taking the action steps to make that future roll out, and that's less living his life and living this life together with her? I mean, what does it look like?
She basically want the fairy tale life, which is the house with the white picket fence and the dog and the family. And it can happen, but you know, we just gotta work towards it.
It can happen.
It can happen.
So you can give her that.
Yeah, I can give her that. I don't know about a dog. I don't like dogs.
Okay. So is there a time that you feel that you can accomplish that?
I mean, we still a little, you know, fresh. Not saying that, you know.
Or you've been engaged for almost 3 years, right?
You been engaged for 3 years?
Yep, 2.5.
Oh, about that.
And by the way,
we're working on it.
So you're working on all, but why did you get engaged if you're not ready? Doesn't engagement mean that I'm making this commitment because I'm gonna make you mine forever?
Yes, but before we was engaged, we was living in 2 different cities.
But did you see her neck darted over like that at you? Once I said, well then, 2.5 years, why aren't you married? So what's going on here?
It's no time. It's been a rush. It's no time on getting married. Let's get our stuff together first. Whatever we got to work on, so it won't be a quick marriage.
So what do you need to work on?
Me. I'll be honest about that. You work on me.
And what do you need to work on?
Selfish and communicating.
But is that what she's saying it is? What do you think it is?
That's what I know it is.
It is?
Yeah, that's on my side. You know, she's a good girl. Like she's everything you could ask for. But you know, I got my own little ways and habits and attitudes and that I'm working on.
Well, tell me about some of them, cause I'm in the dark.
Oh Lord. I guess my own little ways, like I said, selfishness, where I don't like to listen to nobody. Communicating where sometimes I feel like I don't want to communicate, or I don't have to, or I don't need to. Or
So who does she have to become when you're feeling that way? So she just has to like sit back and be quiet and just let you do the things that you do the way you do them?
I mean, yeah, naturally, yeah. But you know, that comes from, like she said, my childhood. You know, I'm just used to going and not giving too, I can't say that on camera, not giving the F about it. I'm just used to going. Is she riding or she ain't?
And you think that that's from selfishness?
Yeah.
Could there be any other reason besides selfishness?
Or what I seen,
Which is?
my daddy going as he please.
But why is that a desire for you? If you say you have everything that you need in her, why is that a desire?
It's not a desire. Some things just be installed that you got to break, you know?
No, I really don't. I'm trying to understand.
Let's just say you in a household with 2 parents, and you take what you want to take out of your parents' relationship. That's the same way with me. Like, I took certain things and I, you know, made it to where I want to do this for the rest of my life or whatever. I want to get married. I seen them together 20 years, this and that. It's just some things that's being installed in you. Like, you can't explain it.
But
it's just...
The difference is that what I did see from my parents, some of the things I liked, and I wanted to replicate them. But there was other things that they did that I didn't like, that I didn't think were good.
Right.
And so those are the things that I picked and I choose what I wanted.
That's the same way, but...
So you like that Papa was a Rolling Stone?
No,
kind of thing.
no, I'm not saying that, but I took the good things, but there are also the bad things that sometimes you can't, you can shake, but it's gonna be time, it's gonna take time to shake. It's gonna take time to shake. You cannot shake them little 2 or 3, bad things that you, I'm not saying bad, but them little things.
Just not working for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be some time to shake it.
So as we conclude our session, then this is what I want to end on. What are you doing to shake those little things? What are you doing to close the gap so that the work that needs to be done on you is completed? Because I'm just wondering how much long, almost 3 years you've been engaged. So now you got her parked in a position, right? She's tied up and she's waiting. So what are you doing? What is the activity that you're doing to get ready?
I don't like, this year I make a different hashtag every year. So this year my hashtag was do better 21. So I'm just trying to do better with my relationship, business-wise, anything. So whatever that is, it's like, I don't know, just one little thing, maybe just try to communicate better. I'm trying to do something better this year, just something. And maybe it'll help us out or make us have a better relationship.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I'm so glad that you're doing better. I'm gonna give you a hand clap. Did your homework, less selfish, communicating better, even scale back on your time out with the boys? Let's keep it moving.
She's laughing. Why are you laughing?
Yeah. The only thing that bothers me is that I know who you are, and you're pretty upfront and honest about who you are and where you are, and that's wonderful. But when I look at her, she is so conflicted. It bothers me because I see her trying to fit into this place. And I don't know that it's that she wants the house with the picket fence and the dog. It's really that she wants something to call her own, that she knows is going to make her happy, that's going to be stable, and it's going to give her the security that she wants. And I don't know, I just feel her trying to keep fitting herself into this seat that she's trying to sit in next to you. And it's like she stays good for a while, and then something happens and she has to reposition herself. She's not really owning, everything that she feels and thinks. And that, for me, is a little uncomfortable because it's not a good place to be in. And sometimes you have to put a demand on people. And because we don't put a demand, it's almost as if time goes on and they meander their way. Love sometimes is the greatest driver. My husband, I used to call that joker disco man. Because, yeah, I'm older than I look. And back in the day, disco was in, okay? I could go out. I was not a clubber. I just wasn't. Never really enjoyed it. But I could go to a club in Dade County. I could go to a club in Fort Lauderdale. Anytime. Guess who would be there? Mr. D, a.k.a. Bear. And so that was a thing for me. I was like, I knew he'd make somebody a great husband, but I'm not married. For me, before I walked across the stage and got my diploma at University of Miami, I was already on to my next great move. So I don't have time to be in a club or to do anything like that. I want to take over the world. So that's who I am. And so I know that the man that's going to stand next to me, that wasn't going to measure up. But I put a demand. I didn't waver. I was able to say, this is who I am, this is what I need, and I'm not taking anything, I'm not going to take any ifs, ands, or buts. Because that person loves you and because they want you, a lot of times it becomes a driver that will help them to make that transition and to become, because there's somebody great in you. I mean, anybody looking at you can see that. You're a sensible man, you have a big heart, you're caring, but you got some demons that you got to deal with. You don't have to, she's not putting a demand on you to do it now. So guess what? Any time works because she's not putting a demand on you to become the man that you were always meant to be. I really do believe it takes 2 great people to be great. You bring something that makes him greater, he brings something that makes you greater. But when you don't stand in the place that you're called to stand in, and you're standing in a shadow, and you're not being authentic, he can't come up and he can't be who he needs to become as well. So that's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable. But that's your journey, and that's where, you know, you need to go when you decide it's time for you to do that. But I believe he's ready. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Jacquie here. I'm your how-to lady. How to do life, how to do love, and how to do you, boo. So click, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more to come.